Hey, what's going on out there, everybody in IE Network land? And you know what time it is when it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Tuesday night. You know it's time for the Benchwarmers podcast exclusively here on the IE Network on YouTube. And we'll be taking you for a nice little ride for about an hour and a half or so with yours truly, of course. I'm the man himself, James Acevedo, along with my co-host, Heaven Hollywood, who will join us very shortly as we talk about the world of sports and other stuff that's going on when we do have time. So, by the way, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Benchwarmers podcast right here. Click the like button and please share it with your friends. And of course, check out all the other shows that's on here on the IE network. You know, we got something for everybody. You know, we have, if you love movies and TV, we have Real Talk. That's REEL, not REAL, with Wes Clark and the Jedi Council. That's every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IA Network. And of course, you have Heaven Hollywood when he does his Heaven Hollywood digital experience on here. And, he does it, you know, out of the blue at times on here. There's no really specific day or time like it is with my show or Wes's show. But you always could check that out. If you miss it, check the replays when he does come on live. And he also puts up entertainment news every now and then. And he does his lives on here, right here in the IA network. And of course, we also have Block TV, which is hosted by Lex Cauldron, right here, right here. I think that's her last name. If I mispronounce, I'm very sorry. She comes on here once a week with what's going on with the tea in the entertainment world, right? Exclusively right here on the IE network. So we got something for everybody. So I advise you all check it out. And with that being said, let's get right to the nitty gritty. Well, as we know, I'm going to start my monologue on my favorite sport, which is baseball. And this past Thursday was the start of the new season. It's nice to see that we had a real opening day, unlike last year, which was in basically late July when we had it last year and only 60 games. Now this year we have a real 162 game season. And but one thing that I really love about the season that started is that now we have some fans in the stands, which what makes it more appealing, instead of just, basically playing to the emptiness of a stadium, you know what I mean? So it's good to see like the crowd back doing the chants, the cheers and the boos. And speaking of cheers or boos, let's get right to my Yankees. This past weekend, they didn't really have a successful 3-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays, which everybody, almost everybody's picking to be the next upcoming team to give a challenge for the Yankees. And yes, they're definitely a young team, a team on the rise. I don't think they're there yet, like I was stating last week. But they did take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. And there's some things that just in base, not with just my Yankees in general, but things that just scratch my head. But I'm gonna stick with the Yankees at first before I get to that part of this of the baseball talk. First of all, the Yankee bats this past weekend, with the exception of last night, by the way, which they destroyed the Orioles 7-0 in the start of this current 3-game series. Right now, they're playing right now in Yankee Stadium. Yankees were winning 1-0, but they could have had more runs. But once again, bases loaded, nobody out. And guess what? They didn't get not one out. I mean, excuse me. they got more than 1 out. 1, 2, 3 outs. I mean, they didn't even get 1 extra run like they should have. They had like what's his name, hit a home run. Jay Bruce, washed up Jay Bruce hit a home run, wearing Willie Randolph's number 30. And other than that, that was their major chance to knock out the starting pitcher. Forgot the guy's name, never heard of him. But once again, you have a pitcher on the ropes and can't even put the ball in play. At least make productive outs, which is the perfect segue from this past weekend, because there were certain times, and not too many really, that they could have at least gotten a couple of extra outs. I mean, I keep saying outs, excuse me, a couple of extra runs. I mean, Sunday was a perfect example where one of their runs was actually a productive out thanks to Clint Frazier, who turned a single into a double thanks to the ball dropping in no man's land, and he stole third. There was a ground out to second base by Brett Gardner, and there you go, a productive out, which got a run in, which is a lost art in baseball nowadays. See, this is the problem with baseball now. Everything is about either you hit a home run or you strike out. You know, there's very rarely ball in play anymore. I mean, you barely have any pitchers go, God forbid, they go 6 innings anymore. They reach 70-something pitches. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's the start of the season, and, you know, it's enough, you know, it's bad enough we baby these pitchers, you know, to death. But now we got to baby them when we start the season. I mean, what was spring training for? We already got to baby them. And I know they're like stock chips. I understand that. They're like stock. It's like investing in a corporation. I understand that. I know they're worth millions of dollars. But would you let the guy pitch, especially our starting pitcher that's been proven to go deep in games? I mean, it's ridiculous, which I'll get to with the Mets in a little bit, because they finally played their first game last night against the Philadelphia Phillies. But the whole weekend, they really didn't have. The bats were really quiet. Not too many opportunities to get in runners in scoring position. Now, you give some of the credit to the Blue Jays with their pitching staff, but I also blame them because they were situational at bats where they could have, you know, practically make a run happen. Like, you don't have to always hit a home run or get an RBI single or a double or triple to get a run in. You can manufacture a run every now and then, like they did Sunday, which they lost. They lost 3-1, whatever it was, and that's the lost art of baseball. And, you know, seeing these starters, you know, especially major starting pitchers. I'm not talking about like so-so pitchers that can barely go 5 innings. I'm talking about pitchers that can go at least 7 innings. You rarely see that no more. The only thing that was interesting about the Yankees that really took the positives of losing 2 out of 3 was the relief pitcher Michael King. You know, he came from our farm system. I think he came up last year, if I'm not mistaken. He pitched well. Domingo Germán finally started the game after serving his suspension for domestic violence. You know, he basically was suspended all of last year, and finally this year he was able to pitch, and he stuck up the joint even though he had a great spring training. That's why, you know, when I hear people say, oh, you know, this guy's hitting well in spring training, this guy's pitching well in spring training, that don't mean nothing unto me until the lights are as bright as when the games count. When the games count, then come back to me, because it's two different things. When the game doesn't count, it is what it is. It's like playing an exhibition game, basically. But when it counts and it's a game on the line where wins and losses matter, then get back to me. And Domingo Germán really barely what 2.5 innings, whatever it was. But then Michael King came in and he pitched 6 full innings coming out of the bullpen. And I can't remember a relief pitcher doing that since going back in the 90s, you know, or even going back in the 80s or so, when relief pitchers, you remember there used to be such thing as a middle relief, when a middle relief pitcher would go, you know, 3+ or more innings. You know, just ask Goose Gossage when he was a closer back in the 70s. He didn't come in the 9th inning. He would come in the 6th inning sometimes. Look at Sparky Lyle. He won his Cy Young in 1977, if I'm not mistaken. And he used to come in the game, you know, the 5th inning on and just close out the game, pitch, you know, 4 full innings or more. You know what I mean? So, like, nowadays, everything is analytics. Everything is about, oh, we got to protect the pitcher's arm, you know, because it's the beginning of the year. It's just ridiculous. How a pitcher's going to go deep in the game when he's not allowed to use his arm, you know? But then again, if they do that and they get hurt, then you get the non-sayers. So, well, see, that's why we baby them, because you know, they could get hurt. You can get hurt at any time. You know, it doesn't matter. You can get hurt at the first inning, second. It doesn't matter. Things can happen. You know, weird things can happen. Like Fernando Tatis Jr. Getting injured the other night. I think it was last night when he swung on a pitch and he dislocated his shoulders temporarily or somewhat. You know, AKA Mr. Babe Ruth, like everyone else is calling him. I mean, they put this guy on a pedestal like he's already, like, you know, in the Hall of Fame. You know, and then that's another thing they do nowadays in sports. I don't understand why. You know, just because they have a potential of being great, and don't get me wrong, Fernando Tatis is a decent player, very good. But can we see him do more first? Can we see a full season? Can we see even a second full season too? On top of that, where I see he's dominating. But, you know, nowadays it's like everything in sports is microwave. We're in the microwave era. where everything is, oh, look, yeah, this is what I heard. He's going to be good. Meanwhile, he didn't prove nothing on the field yet. Oh, barely has proved anything on the field. So, yeah, getting back to my Yankees real quick. So, yeah, so Michael King pitched great. And actually, he pitched great in that first game, that home opener, with that. He pitched in the extra innings, with that with that runner on second rule when it comes to extra innings, when it comes to the top of the 10th. It wasn't his fault the runner scored. He gave up a hit with the runner already on base. And what's so stupid is that run don't even get charged with ERA because he came in the game with the runner already on base, which wasn't his responsibility because they start off extra innings now with the runner on second base, which, by the way, when this rule started last year and before the pandemic started, I wasn't feeling that. But then when the pandemic happened and the 60-game shortened season happened, I was like, okay, you know what? Because it's a shortened season, I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. Because it's a shortened season, you want to get, games over with as much as possible and save your roster, from going from the wear and tear. This, now with a full season, I'm actually not, mad about it like most people. I don't mind that as long as you don't put in the playoffs. You put in the playoffs, then I'm against it. But actually, it saves your bullpen and your pitching staff from going, 16 innings or more. So I don't mind it so much. I mean, hey, the other team gets that same chance. It's not like, only the visiting team gets that chance and you don't, having the runner start at second base when you come at bat for your last at bat. So it's not like it's only for the visiting team. So it is what it is. You have to adjust. And speaking of adjusting, how about when there's a shift on, and this goes to everybody in baseball, not just my Yankees, could you try to put the ball in play where the fielders aren't playing at? I mean, come on, is it that hard to hit the ball where the players are not playing at? Bunt the ball, God forbid, bunt the ball where they're not at. It's it's like ridiculous. Everyone's saying get rid of the shift. Not everybody, but get rid of the shift. But what happened to hitters adjusting to their game? Not all the time you're going to have your A game. Adjust. Just like a pitcher has to adjust. If he doesn't have his stuff for that certain game, a hitter should adjust too. Just like I don't mind a pitcher using pine tar for grip because the hitters use it. Why not the batters? I mean, the pitchers. I mean, I know it'd be left on the ball. That's why that seems illegal. But form a substance that they can have a better grip on the base, especially when it's still cold out in the Northeast during this time of year. It's not consistently, 80 plus degrees and up, like it will be in the next month and a half or so. So, it's just retarded. And anyway, another bright spot for the Yankees this weekend was Jonathan Lewinsga. I probably butchered that last name, but he was outstanding. And I'm going to say this: he's been up with the team for the last couple of years. I think his rookie year was 2019. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say it right now. Jonathan Lewinsga, he's going to be our future closer. Guarantee it. Barring injury, he's going to be our next guy when Chapman gets out of the picture. Trust me when I tell you, he will be that next guy. Because, I mean, he pitched lights out when he came into the game the other day when they won that game on Saturday afternoon. I mean, those are the only two really positive factors. Their offense was dead. I mean, give some of that the credit to the Blue Jay pitchers, but like I said, adjusting when you don't have getting your certain pitch to hit, that's what you do. You're supposed to adjust. Bunt the ball, do something, move runners around, get productive runs in. Finally, I didn't say outs, but there's such thing as a productive out to get that run in. Like I just said about what happened Sunday afternoon when Clyde Frazier. Boy, that's talking about wrong sport and wrong era. Clint Frazier got that ball rolling, running hard to second base and stealing third, and then running the ball on contact when Gardner hit the ball to the right end of the infield. And that's, like I said, it's a low start in baseball. Now, Yankees won last night. That's good. Like I said, it's still early. I'm not gonna get all crazy like some people. And okay, let's be honest. Thursday looked like what the Yankees have been doing the last few years in the postseason, which when there's good pitching they face, they suck. They can't produce no runs. I know that. So I understand the boos. I can understand that. So I'm not getting all crazy about that. But they have to learn. See, I'm not worried about the regular season, them winning 90+ games. I think they will. They should win the division, you know, barring injury again. But you know, when the playoffs come, they can't be doing this home run or bust. They can't do that. You gotta put the ball in play, get the runners moving. You know, hit and run. It's like even hit and run is like a lost start. I gave him to the Mets, and I know if Heaven comes on anytime soon, or even if Wes comes on, who by the way he's the producer and also the host of Real Talk, 9 p.m. every Monday night here on IE Network. Cheap plug. I don't care. I mean, Jacob deGrom, I feel sorry for this guy. This guy, without a doubt, within, I would say, the last 3 years, has been by far the best pitcher in baseball. I don't want to hear what's his name from the Dodgers. He's been by far the best pitcher in baseball, Jacob deGrom. Now, every time he pitches, it seems like most of the time, he gets little or no run support. Just like Cole from the Yankees, it seems like. Cole doesn't get run support either. So, you know, I know Cole feels the same way as he is right now, only getting 1 run so far as we speak, as far as I know right now. But Jacob deGrom, I saw a stat, by the way, that in at least 30+ games or so, or at least 77 games he's pitched, 30 of them he had the lead, and practically most of them he lost because of that, because of the bullpen. Now, mind you, yesterday I only saw highlights, and I saw Jacob deGrom mowing pitch everybody down as usual. Then he gets up to a certain amount of pitches, which is only 77. It's not like he reached 100. It's not like it was in the 90s. It was 77 pitches. Take him out. Meanwhile, he's retired. I forgot how many, 6 batters in a row, whatever. And once they take him out, what a shock. The Mets bullpen blows it. And again, it's just mind-boggling with this analytic, this babying of players, you know. And what really made me thought even more, when I thought about it, I said, wait a minute. Here is Jacob deGrom. He has a resume. He's won a Cy Young. He's definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball today. I would think he would have some say and say, listen, I'm pitching lights out. Give me the ball. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that's not his MO. It's not his personality. You know, he's a laid-back guy. But I'm sorry, sooner or later, you know, you are the man of the team as far as the pitcher said. You're the ace. You need to take that ball, at least go another inning or 2 more. You want to say, okay, you want to only give 100 pitches? Fine. That's still another 23 more pitches you could have done. And it's just ridiculous. And I don't blame Met fans for going crazy last night that they lost that game. Because, you know, now anything can happen in baseball, don't get me wrong. I mean, they threatened in the bottom of the ninth. They could have, you know, tied the game or even tried to win it. But, you know, they should have not reached to that situation. If they would have let Jacob deGrom in, and he probably would have pitched deep into the game, at least into the 7th or, God forbid, 8th inning. And they would have been okay. Now, anything can happen in baseball. You know, as you know, John Sterling says, it's baseball, Susan. But you know, you got to go with your gut sometimes. Everything can't be by the book. Everything is not in the book. You don't just go online a computer, or you know, go in the book. Oh, okay. When the sun is about twilight and and the stars are aligned, and usually when the wind is from the south northeast, you know what? At 10 miles an hour, that's when I take him out. No, use your eyes. The eyes tell all. The eyes, yes, the eyes tell all. See my eyes, but the eyes tell all. And it's like, it's not the eye test no more. It's not the gut test no more. And trust me, some of these managers have big guts. You would think they would use them when it comes to making a decision on the field. But it's like, can we stop? And you know what? I'm even gonna cut slack on the managers. You know why? Because the managers don't really manage the game no more. Really, it's really the GMs now. The GMs and these analytic mathematicians, they go, yeah, okay. When Jacob deGrom reaches a certain amount of pitches, you know, his stuff is not really as strong as it usually is when it's, you know, early in the game. Like, shut up. Have you watched Jacob deGrom? Have you seen his resume? Have you seen how he pitched the last few years? Haven't I wished he was on my Yankees? I was hoping he would be. I thought, you know, poor guy, he probably wanted to come here, but, you know, he renegotiated his contract to stay with the Mets. And he's probably saying, what deep inside in his own mind, what am I getting myself into? I get no run support. It's frustrating. I don't care who you are. I don't care what personality you are. It has to be frustrating. It's like, you know, boy, I'm really pitching my heart out, and I'm getting nothing out of it. I mean, he has about 70-something wins in his career, something like that. He could easily be at least near 100. or at least in the 90s. And, he might fall short of being in the Hall of Fame because of all this. Now, if he comes to the Yankees, that'd be a different story. But, but that's neither here or there. He's going to probably be a Met the rest of his life. I forgot the extension on that contract he signed a couple of years ago. But, yeah, I mean, Jacob deGrom, just like with Aaron Rodgers I talked about a few weeks ago, you're Aaron Rodgers. Run in the end zone for that touchdown in that championship game. You never know when you're going to come back there. I know you've had decent teams the last few years, but you never know when your last chance to really go deep in the playoffs and win a title. In this case, it's different during the season, but my point being is you have a resume. You have a reputation. You're a star. You can use that stardom for your advantage to say, hey, you know what? I know whatever the book says, whatever, but I'm pitching lights out. I'm doing well. I'm going out there. And if they don't like it, they can find me. And trust me, they could afford it, especially Jacob deGrom. But it's just ridiculous. It's just you wonder why. And you wonder why youngsters today don't care about baseball. I'm going to be honest. If I was growing up right now, if I was, 15 years old right now, a little younger, I would care less about baseball. Because you watch baseball, it's like watching an all-star game. It's either home runs, strikeouts, home runs, strikeouts. Fly out here, fly out there. No moving of the runners, no ball in play, no hit and run. That's why it's boring to some people. Now, recently I was watching highlights the last couple of games just to catch up because, I have a job to do here. Hey, I got to tell you, no respect. But where's my red tie? But yeah, I actually saw, it was nice to see a little, runners run with the pitch coming to the plate and stuff like that. That'd be nice to see every once in a while. But like I said, the managers don't run the game no more. It's these upper management people. Brian Cashman is really the manager of the Yankees, just like whoever the GM is of the Mets now, really running the team. I would love to have baseball the way it's used to be. Not this analytic stuff. And to be honest, even diehard fans like me, there's times when I go, I'll check out the game later. Oh, I'll watch, I'll just, what's the score? Okay, I'll check out later if it's close at the end. You know why? Because it's almost the same thing every time you watch. Bases are like, perfect example today. Bases loaded, nobody out. Nobody out. Ducks on the pond. The bases are drunk, as they say in the baseball terminology. You can't get a sac fly to get an extra run in. You can't put the ball in play to at least, get the runner home. Hit the ball to the second baseman. Get the runner home and from third. Can you hit a deep fly ball? No. You know what happens? Strikeout. Or pop up in the infield. Or like, it's unbelievable. It's like, and you wonder why, us Yankee fans would see, this is like how we see in the playoffs. You get a scoring opportunity, run the scoring position, and right down the toilet. The last 3 years, that's how it's been. 2019 was really the last time they had a real good season with runners in scoring position. But other than that, for the most part, unless they manufacture a run, which is rare, it's either by the 3-run homer. It's like the old Orioles way or Weaver way of playing baseball. It's the 3-run home run or bust. That's what it seems like, or mostly solo home runs. That's ridiculous. It's like that's got to stop at a certain point, and you wonder why the game is not, young people's attention. And another reason why it's not under young people's attention is because it's not marketed well. It's not pushed out there like it is with the NFL and with the NBA, especially the NFL. The NFL is king. I don't care anybody. The NFL is king with their sport, the way they handle business, the way they put games at certain times, the way they promote their players, everything. And that's the problem with baseball. Back in the day, they used to promote the baseball players a little more. They used to have, This Week in Baseball, which I think they still do, but it used to be on regular TV every Saturday morning. And they used to have Battle of the Superstars. That used to be on ABC, where you had athletes from all sports competing against each other in certain competition, when it was rolling, track and field or whatever. But you got to see the personalities of these players. In baseball, they don't promote that. Robert Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, he don't promote his players like that. Like, one of the best players right now is what's his face, Mike Trout. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that he's one of the faces of baseball because they don't promote the game. Unless you're watching the MLB app or MLB Network, you have no idea. Even on the network, they don't promote it as much. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr., if you didn't know about that huge contract he had, would you know that he's one of the up and coming faces of baseball? No. You know why? Because they don't promote him. They don't know how to market well. They are terrible at it. Where NFL, they put the players out there. They let them show their personalities. Baseball, nope, don't do it. And once upon a time, believe it or not, boys and girls, baseball was king. Baseball was a national pastime. Baseball used to be talked about 365 days a year, including leap year. Nowadays, that's not the case. Now it's only basketball or football is talked about 365. And you know why? Because they pushed their product out there. Now the MLB for the last almost 10 years has put the draft on the MLB network. But who cares? You put it on the MLB network. Who's going to have the MLB network unless they're diehard baseball fans? But they know why not to put it on a national network, because they know no one will watch. Now, to be fair, the NFL does it on ESPN and on the NFL network too, but everyone knows about the draft because it gets talked about, it build up. And to be fair, football has college football, where college football is popular. NBA, college basketball is popular. That's why some of these players and stuff like that. So that's why some of these people know, the hardcore fans, which I don't go that crazy. I don't go unless they really well known. I'm like, such and such that plays in Duke. He's great. He'll be a great player in the NBA. I don't know unless they really stand out. You know what I mean? But baseball don't do that. Unless you follow minor league baseball, which almost 100% don't. Maybe 5% do, if that. You ain't gonna know unless they're a once in a lifetime phenom like a Ken Griffey Jr. I'm not gonna say Fernando Tatis Jr. because he's not there yet, in my opinion. I don't give a about it. Give me a couple of years and then come back to me. But that's the problem, and that is why baseball is the third best sport, most popular sport. Not second. Second in NBA. Third is baseball. Oh, here we are. I have. Looks like the director is on the set.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was glad you could join us. I know you're a very busy man. Doing multitasking, as we all know that you do for the most part. Yeah, I was basically giving thoughts about my with the MLB season that just started, last Thursday. How the game is so much different than it is, and the problems of why really nobody cares as much anymore. And even with a diehard fan like me, you don't watch every pitch because the game is basically, babied. I mean, I don't know if you know about yesterday's game. You're a big time Mets fan. I mean, Jacob deGrom, 77 pitches, pitching lights out. Oh, let's take him out.
Yeah, well, that stupid, pitch count garbage. They've been doing that for years, though.
Yeah, but ridiculous. Yeah, but it's even worse now, man. It's like
because of the analytics, it's even worse. Yeah,
analytics. Yeah,
it's analytics. That's what it is. It's like, for so many reasons, it's called analytics in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is I was saying this a few minutes ago. It's like, now I feel for Mets fans, I really do, because here is Jacob deGrom. And if you know baseball like I do, and I know you know about this too, Wes. Who's been the best pitcher in at least the last 3-4 years? That's Jacob deGrom, no doubt. Yeah, right? No doubt about it. I don't want to hear this dude from the Dodgers, Mr. Choke Artist in the postseason for the most part. He's all about.
It's been deGrom. He's got two. I think he's got 2 Cy Youngs in the last.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. I said 1. Yeah, he got 2. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he got 2 Cy. Poor guy. I mean, and this guy stayed with the Mets. He could have easily been like, you know what, I'm out, peace out. No, but he stayed. They negotiated. They kept him. This is the old management. This is the Wilpon management, which I don't know how to do that.
I was trying to set up a situation of meeting him because one of my friend of mine down here, because he went to Stetson, I think, college or whatever it was called, and so a friend of mine down here in Central Florida, she went to college with him, and she's like, I'm really good friends with him. I was like, you still talk to him? She's like, yeah. She's like, every time he comes to Florida, we try to catch up, and especially mostly for spring training, because if he's in Florida for a game, it's Miami. So, or maybe it may be if it's Tampa, if it's like the what you call it? What do they call that now when it's the they cross over? the crossover.
You mean like interleague?
Yeah, interleague. There you go. Unless it's interleague, he'll go to Tampa. But other than that, now if he's in spring training, that's when she said she tried to drive down and check him. I was like, yo, next time you go down there, I'm going with you. I want to meet this guy. Yeah, so I can beg him to never leave the bed.
Yeah, well, and he didn't. I forgot the extension he signed. What was it, last year or year before it was? But I think he's still here for another 6 more years or something like that. But my thing is this also, kind of like Aaron Rodgers' situation in the championship game. I mean, you're a star, right? I think I'm going to say, now listen, I know this is the beginning of the year. This is finally our first game after finally playing after, the COVID situation. You can't make it up with the Mets sometimes. They still have a little stench from the Wilpons, I guess. It's like they can't play one game until Monday. The poor Mets. But then finally they do. They get what a shock, a great pitching performance by DeGrom. And 77 pitches, take him out. I'm sorry. I've heard he's laid back guy, whatever. But, sometimes you got to use your stardom to be like, hey, you know what? No, I'm going back out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm pitching at least one more inning. Give me at least to 100 pitches. You know what I mean? Especially when I know our bullpen stinks. You know what I mean? Give me a shot. But he didn't do it. No, okay, you always be a team player. Yeah. But sometimes it's like, you know what? I'm tired of losing games. My career I could have near 100 wins by now. He's lost at least 30 games in his career because of the Met bullpen. So it's to a point like, okay, when is enough's enough? I don't care what personality you have. There's a limit. Everybody has their limit. Everybody has their breaking point. After a while, you know what? I'm tired of this. I pitch my heart out. I go out there. They score 0 runs for me. It's almost like Cole with the Yankees too. 0 runs. I pitch my heart out, and I have to pray to get a W in my win column and the team to win. Of course, it's all about the team winning. But my point being is like, when's enough? Said, look, you know what? I'm getting the baseball and I'm keeping it until you could see with your eye test that I'm giving up, tons of runs or something. But it's just ridiculous. And of course, it makes it worse. You're facing the Phillies, a Mets nemesis, and you got to lose in Philly against those guys. On top of that, you have a rally in the 9th inning, which once again teases the Met fan, and they lose. Yeah. It's like I just can't. It's like just in general in baseball, this is not the game I watch. And I know times change, but it's just like someone got to give where it's like the eye test never fails, the gut test, And I'm not saying let the pitcher throw 120 plus innings, but can we get to the 7th inning at least? Can we get that? Can we get 6? Can we get 6? Now you see, this guy pitched 4 2/3 innings, already reached 100 pitches. What? You know why? Because foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. 3-2, 3-2. Takes forever to strike out somebody. The ball doesn't get put in play. That's why these pitchers take 100 pitches to pitch 4 innings. The ball's not being put in play. It's strikeout or home run. That's the problem. And that's where I have my beef. And it's like, until they really change the game and at least put it where hit and run is involved and stuff like that, manufacture runs, because guess what? That's what you have to do, especially in the playoffs to win. You gotta adjust, just like a pitcher has to adjust. Sometimes he doesn't have his game. Batters need to do that too. If I see they have that the shift. Oh, can I hit the ball where the fielders are not? Was it too hard for me to do?
Exactly.
It's like ridiculous. So, and it's just, I just get so frustrated with it. But because it's my childhood #1 sport, and I've been a fan for 40 plus years, that's the main reason why I only stick with it. But here's the problem. We're going to die out one day. And the generation that's behind us, they're not going to care unless they do some drastic changes. I'm telling you right now. It's only going to be football and basketball. Baseball is the 3rd favorite sport in this country. And you could argue it could be less than that. If you're a soccer fan or if you're a hockey guy or something, it could be 4th for certain people. So
That's true.
You know, I mean, in your opinion, how you rate baseball? You probably have it at least in your mind, right?
Yeah, it's at least right now for me. It's third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, it might be fourth behind tennis. I watch tennis before I watch baseball.
Well, yeah. If Serena is playing,
if Serena's playing, or what's her name? Or Osaka.
Oh yeah, the
new Serena.
The
Like that.
The new Serena.
Yeah, new I like watching her. But yeah, no, I mean for the most part, it's pretty much third. You know, I try to watch it, and it gets, you know, if I'm lucky enough to get out to a game, you know, before COVID came, you know, I got out every time they came to Miami. I tried to go down there, especially when my dad was alive, because I drive down there and take him to the game. So we'd go catch the games, you know, as much as we could when they played the Marlins. Thankfully, they won. Well, one time they lost when we went. That was like, damn it. I hate when that happens. I hate when I go to a game and they lose. It like ruins my day. Yeah.
I could have. Well, the cool part is that if your dad, just spend time with your dad. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean it's all good. He's, you know, we take him out there and hang out, and it's cool. Plus, you know, my dad, he used to be in a we used to wheel him in the wheelchair. He had prosthetic legs, but we get the wheelchair so we can get in front of everybody. We put him in the wheelchair. Yeah, so they put us in the section where it's like the wheelchair section, but it's like
nice view.
It's nice view, perfect view, clear, and it's right behind the food court. So food right there, we was good. Yeah, I can go get the food in.
And that's the thing about why I love baseball.
And that Marlins stadium is really nice. It's air conditioned. It is.
That's why they do that way.
Yeah, it is. It's air conditioned. It has a retractable dome.
Yes, it does.
And it's air conditioned. So obviously, because it's in Miami, but it's really comfortable in there. Like you don't get hot at all. It's just really nice in there. And it's just a nice stadium.
Yeah, and another thing I love about where the stadium is located, that's where the Orange Bowl used to be. So that's awesome. That's where Super Bowl III for any Jet fans out there. You know, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Don't really name it if it's guaranteed. Yeah, long time ago. Yeah, so that's even before me. So that tells you how long ago it was. But and it's a shame because it is a father and son game. And unfortunately, the way baseball is, and now you have technology involved where everyone's in their phone, like, you know, you look at the crowd, like I see people in nice seats that I would kill for. And they're on their phone, like, see, that's a problem. That's when you know it's like, you know, I doubt if someone would be on their phone and they're in an NBA game or and then because it's nonstop action, there's stuff going on. Unless you grandfather in the sport like me and you are, you're not really gonna be paying attention, you know. That's why all these stadiums they got these nice places to eat, and you know they basically have clubs almost in there, like sports bars built in these stadiums, these new stadiums nowadays. So it's like, wait a minute, I go to watch the game. I mean, of course I've been to the Yankee Stadium. Yeah, that's nice to check it out real quick. I'm there to watch the game. I like the fact when I walk around. Same thing with Citi Field, which I love Citi Field, by the way. I love it. It's definitely more intimate, which I love about it. But I like that no matter where I walk, I can see the game, where it wasn't the case in the old days. But it's just a shame because I know when I would get seats like that, and back in the day, you didn't have to have a ticket. If someone just left, you just snuck right down there in the field level and watch a game. But I'm getting field seats, especially if you pay that money. I'm not looking on my phone like that. Pay arm and a leg for that. But it's just definitely something that baseball needs to look into. And here's a perfect segue what I'm about to say. Anybody doesn't know, the MLB All-Star game, which no one cares about anymore. It's not like how it used to be when the NL and AL used to actually have a rivalry and usually actually cared about winning. they're moving they're moving the game from Atlanta to Denver, and where Coors Field is at.
Right
now, putting all politics aside, I'm not going to get into all that. Okay, whatever. While a lot of people haven't really talked about, only but one person, Mad Dog, here's the main reason why he moved the venue from Atlanta to Denver. And here's the main reason why. We got to remember, people, it's a business. He don't want no smoke. He wants no smoke from not only the fans, but the players. And you got to remember, the collective bargaining agreement is coming up after this season. So he's already not in good terms with the Players Association. And he's heard how players were not going to participate in the All-Star game. It was going to be played in Atlanta. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to do something. It's all about the main thing, protecting the business. And that's what he really did. And that's why he moved the venue to wherever far away from Atlanta as possible. That's the main reason why he did it. Let's keep it real. That's the main reason why he did it. And that's why, and it's a shame because the people in Atlanta, like the businesses down there, the vendors, they're going to lose out. People were going to come there. They were going to celebrate Hank Aaron's passing down there because it was going to be in Atlanta. Now it's not going to be the same. Yeah, they can still celebrate Hank Aaron's legacy, but it would have been cool to have it down there. And Robert Manfred made a statement. Oh, we're gonna make sure they're taken care of. With I guess they're gonna give them a couple of bucks, whatever. But that's not the point. It would have been a lot more money being poured into the community and the surrounding areas if it would have stayed there. Like I said, I could understand why they moved it out, but it's just I just feel bad for those vendors. And let's keep it real. It was because of business. It wasn't just because I'm making a statement. Yeah, he might make it look that way, but it's mainly because of the players knowing that he don't want to hear the next couple of months as we get close to the All-Star break. Oh, Mookie Betts ain't going to be there. Oh, Aaron Judge ain't going to be there. Oh, so, he knows where his toast is, the butter on his toast is spread. So he knows his job is on the line. He works for these owners, so he better get it done. And that's what he did. And I don't blame him for doing it. I can understand why he did it. He did, because if he would have stayed, it would have been a no-win situation for him. Had he stayed, he looks like a bad guy, whatever, and then he would have been in back cahoots with the union even more. If he goes, then the poor people around that community in that area is not going to be able to make money because the All-Star game is moved to Coors Field. So, but I understand why he did it. Because it's a business. I totally get why. I totally understand why. And, and I think that was the main reason why than anything else. And, if I cared about the All-Star game, I would go. But I went to one. I went to the one in 13 where it was a City Field. That was cool. Boy, was it hot. It was. You think Florida was hot? Oh, boy, it was hot. That in New York that time. Jeez. Oh, God, it was hot. You know what's funny? What's his name? Cespedes won the home run derby.
Yeah.
That was before he became a Met.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, what you have any thoughts about the All-Star game being moved to Coors Field at all?
Not really. It's just it's gonna fly out of there more. That's Colorado, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Mile High.
Yeah. The ball's gonna fly out. That's probably why they moved it there.
That's an excellent point, especially for the home run derby. That's an excellent point. Excellent point, Mike.
Yeah, no, that's probably why, because the ball flies out in that thin air up there in Mile High.
Yeah,
the ball flies out of there very easily, so it makes things a little more, interesting. Because you want the All-Star game to be interesting, you want the home run derby to be interesting, you want it to be competitive. You don't want to put it. I mean, to be honest, you don't want to put it in a big park. Because then that could mess things up. You don't want people doing a home run derby and they not hitting home runs, because it's a hard park to hit home runs from. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I could see them moving. It's all right, I guess. They want to get some more action. Really, what they need to do is just start shooting everybody up again. If they want more action. Let everybody start taking steroids again. Okay, we'll allow you to do it for half a season just so we can get the fans back. Because I tell you, I hate to say, yes, it's a black eye on baseball and all that other stuff, and the integrity of baseball, I should say. To me, it's not a black eye on baseball. It's a black eye on the integrity of baseball, because actually that was one of the most fun times in baseball when that was happening with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire with the home run. You couldn't watch ESPN without them cutting in. You could be watching something completely different, and ESPN would cut in and be like, the home run chase, and they here's Sammy Sosa's at bat. And I tell you, like I said, and I hate to say that because, like I said, yes, I love baseball, true and blue, but I'm just saying it was fun. It was a fun time. I can't lie about that. For fans to watch. Now, you don't want, oh, yeah, they was doing steroids, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you cheat in the game. Yeah, I know, and I don't agree with that. But it was fun, and that was probably the most popular baseball has been since like the 80s, or the 90s. But it was very popular during the 90s, and the Yankees was on their runs and stuff. It was popular then. But after that, it got real pop. It slowed down a little bit. Then they had like the walkout or whatever, or the strike that kind of messed things up for them for a while. I remember, the lockout. I think they had like a lockout or something like that.
Yeah, they actually, believe it or not, they haven't had a lockout or a strike since 95. Believe it or not,
95. Yeah.
But that year, I'm sorry, it was almost was going to have one in 02. Yeah. But they signed a new collective bargaining agreement. But they've been actually good until recently. Now, the last few years, Tony Clark, who represents the union, former major league player, he played with the Yankees, he played with the Tigers. I think he played with the Mets too, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Clark. Yeah. And them and Manfred haven't really been seeing eye to eye. So I won't be surprised if after this season it's going to be a lockout, some strike or something, and the sport can't afford that. Yeah, they can't afford that.
Yeah, well, I know this much. And I know Joseph says no more steroids. Yeah, we know.
But but let's keep it real. And this is why it drives me crazy when it comes to who they put in the Hall of Fame, and they forget like certain things happen to this person and whatever. But yet certain people's different and they don't let them in. But it's not like they don't have dirt like these people. Bud Selig, okay. Anybody doesn't know who Bud Selig is? Not even his real name, by the way. Bud is just a nickname. I think it's
figure that much. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he was commissioner during the time. Actually, first of all, he was an acting commissioner at one point. Then he finally became a real commissioner, like in the late 90s. Let's not act like like during that time, like you were just stating about the home run thing. That was a time there was no rules about steroids or HGH, zero. So that's why, let's be honest, the strike happened in 94. It hurt baseball. It did, because that's where baseball was really at its super highest peak, right? The strike happened first time in almost like 80 plus years they didn't have a World Series, since like 1904. So it was basically like 80 years to the year that they didn't have a World Series. Killed the game, it killed the Expos, it killed the Expos fan. That's why there's no baseball in Montreal. That's why they moved to Washington, was because of that. It killed the whole momentum, because they're going to have a new stadium. It was going to be state of the art, and they still love baseball over there. But management had to move out there, and they became the Nationals, and the rest is history. But they knew when after that strike happened that baseball took a hit, and that's where basketball, and football took over. And football's the number one sport, and the best at doing everything when it comes to publicity. Everything. You name it, you got it, right?
Yeah.
Steroids came into play, and steroids was going on even in the late 80s when Jose Canseco was doing it, and he let a lot of cats out of the box when it came to that. But here's the thing. Selig knew it wasn't like a great thing. You didn't need a rule for that to be in place, but he knew that it generated ticket sales. So this is going on. The home run chase happened. Attendance went high as it never did before. Sellouts all over the place. And it wasn't until Jose Canseco opened his mouth And that Miller report, whatever it is that came out with all those players' names, and only A-Rod's name got leaked out. But meanwhile, or David Ortiz's name was on there, and all those other players who probably in the Hall of Fame now, by the way, were in there. And he knew it generated money when they took steroids because people got in the stands, they want to watch that. But it wasn't until Congress came down on them, and when Jose Canseco pulled back that curtain, that all of a sudden, oh, this is morally wrong. It hurts the integrity of the game. That's what makes me laugh when you say integrity. I said, what integrity of the game? They've been full of crap, even going back to before Jackie Robinson was allowed to play baseball. Let's keep it real. Baseball has, for some reason, to this day, cannot adjust with the times. They just can't get out of their own way. They are the DC of sports. Marvel is the NFL.
Yeah.
DC is baseball. Baseball, and they have a lot of similarities. Baseball was here first, like DC was here first.
Exactly.
And both gonna get out their own way. Always shoot themselves in their own way.
Yeah.
It's like I love how they became holy in that. Bug Sweet became more the now we gotta make a rule here. Now we gotta put in a rule, no steroids or whatever. And if you do, you get suspended now. Then if you ban the game, you're just banned for life. I know that goes back to the Black Sox scandal, but come on, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. But yet we have his jersey and bat where he hit that broke the record in the Hall of Fame.
Right, yeah, that shouldn't even be there. And if you're gonna have that, but you don't put him in the Hall of Fame, that's bullshit. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like keep it if you really about morals, right? Like if you on that energy, then keep it going. Keep it straight all the way around. Don't have his bat there. Don't have his glove. Don't have his jersey. But meanwhile, you have Hall of Famers who were horrible people or they cheated. Look at Gaylord Perry. He put Vaseline and stuff all over the baseball Hall of Fame. We talk about the cancel culture. Forget about it. Ty Cobb would have been murdered today.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest racist in baseball. Okay, great player. He's in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, Pete Rose. Nah, he bet on baseball. Meanwhile, he didn't bet on his team. He bet on other teams. Now I know Pete Rose signed his waiver, and that's why that was all to happen. But come on, he did his time. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to put him in.
It's ridiculous. It's only baseball. They put this Hall of Fame, the holier than thou. It's not the holier than thou fame. It's the baseball Hall of Fame. You think there's characters in the NFL that's in the Hall of Fame are great people? It's about what they did on the field. You think Lawrence Taylor really? He deserved it because he's on what he did on the field. You think he was a great guy? And I love Lawrence Taylor. I love LT. I'm a Giants fan. Let's keep it real. We're gonna, just don't make it. It's not about holier than thou. It's not about all this stuff. Just like Charles Barkley said, I am not a role model, and he was the only one I ever heard that kept it real. Everybody else, you gotta be, these athletes and actors and whoever you look up to should not be raising your kids. It's about you.
No, exactly. I said that on one of my shows when I was just talking about, with that little Nas X idiot. But I don't like him. He's an idiot. He's garbage to me. He's trash. But that he's not, it ain't his fault if your kids listen to him. It's not his fault.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. It really is. It's not just like it ain't Cardi B's fault if your children listen to her music. They shouldn't be. Just like they shouldn't be listening to his music. They shouldn't be watching his videos. They shouldn't be watching her videos. And you have control of that. You, the parent.
And that's how it even goes back to the old days. You don't like something, turn the channel. You don't like what you hear on the radio, turn the channel.
Well, I said my biggest example that I said on my show was, if let's say you're a parent and your brother or whatever, or cousin, whatever, brought a Playboy magazine into the house, and your son finds it. Do you blame Hugh Hefner?
No.
You know what I mean? No. You blame either the person who brought it into the house, or then you discipline your son for finding it and looking at it. Make sure he knows not to do that again, but you discipline the person that brought it to you. So you don't discipline the person who created the material. So you don't say, you know what, Hugh Hefner's got to go because he's making this magazine for my son to find and look at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. By the way, we're seeing Heaven's workout as we speak. This is like the first time ever on the show. He's muted. I don't think you realize he's muted.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Welcome.
I can hear you guys. I was just muting it because I didn't want the feedback to get on to the show.
Yeah, I understand what you were doing. I'm messing with you.
What's up? What's up? Fine people.
Yeah, chilling, man. I was just
I'm just talking about all of that,
I was just talking about all the, how baseball has a long way to go to catch up with the NFL is at. That's why they don't know how to promote the sport well. They don't know how to adjust to the times well. And unless you grandfather into the sport like we are, I was saying earlier, if I was a kid now, I would have cared less about baseball. And even nowadays, I love baseball. It's my number one because I grew up with it. But even at times I go, okay, what's the score? Okay, cool. I'll check out later. Where back in the day I would have been like, oh wow,
yeah,
It's not like that no more. It's not.
That is true. Baseball doesn't have the same. I was telling my brother last week. I was like, I feel bad. I've been a Met fan all my life, and I'm just like, who's on their roster again? Like, I'm not even like these dudes. I'm like, I mean, even like a couple of weeks ago, I'm asking you, like, so how many? I used to know all that stuff off the top of my head, like, stats and how many MVPs did Trout win? Like, I would have knew that on the top of my head 20 years ago.
Oh, like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
But you do know who Jacob deGrom is, right?
Yeah, I know who he is. and funny. After we had that conversation last week, the dude goes and signs the contract.
Oh yeah, homeboy.
I think we made him do that.
By the way, you know how much he's making this year? I saw why he signed that contract. You know how much money he's making this year, Lindor?
How much?
$43 million.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
I signed too.
That's a lot of money.
But I'm saying
baseball is doing fine.
It's doing fine financially, but not doing fine as trying to have the youth and the future fans getting future fans. Because like I was telling your brother Wes, when we die out, we're in more trouble.
What's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, that sport, that's what it's all about. A lot of people don't look at it as a business. NBA is a business. Baseball is a business. Football is a business. You have to, that's why they have those programs to put the youth out there, like, hey, the youth programs and all this stuff to get involved with the sport. So that way, hey, we could be the next LeBron James or
the next generation, right? If once we get too old to go to the games or to watch TV because we can't see it that great anymore, so we're not even tuning in, then what?
Then what? But it's funny, but still to this day, and like you said, and I've always agreed too, nothing is more dramatic than baseball when it comes to the playoffs. When it's the playoffs, it's the best.
Yeah, it's the best.
Hockey,
it's still the best sport to me.
Yeah,
playoff-wise, it's still the best sport.
It's you cannot with every pitch, and you're
now I'm going to tell you, they are trying to mess with that by adding in this opener and the opener and this that stuff right there. To me, messes with the strategy of playoff baseball. When you're going to start your relief pitcher and bat your batter, your pitcher eighth, and I never liked that. Like when you talk about baseball purists or whatever, that's like the only thing I didn't like. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and bat your pitcher eighth. Like your pitcher's supposed to bat ninth. That's the way it's always been. Stop putting your pitcher eighth. Tony La Russa, trying to reinvent the wheel. Stop putting your pitcher eighth, and then Then a couple of times, I forgot what team was naturally saying, they're gonna bat the pitcher like 7. Like, come on. It went from 8 to 7. Like one time, I think one time I forgot who it was. They batted their pitcher 7th.
Yeah.
And then they had some sort of analytical reason. See, all that stuff started when the analytics started coming into play.
Yeah,
this opener, close, not even close, like opener, starter. They wasn't even calling the starter the starter anymore. He was the opener, like.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment I call the blame game. I kind of did it last week, when I was blaming. I forgot who else I blaming, but here's another blame game for you. You know who I blame the shift and all this stuff?
Let me guess, the Mets, because you blame everything on the Mets.
No, I do not. That's not. And if I did do that, it was out of just making, just having fun. But no, Joe Madden.
Yeah. Manager of him and Tony La Russa. But Joe Madden was really the one that brought in them analytics and Billy and what's it, Moneyball.
Oh, Moneyball. You mean Mr. I don't win one major title? Yeah, and never went to the World Series. Billy Ball.
The Oakland A's.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and they made a movie out of like he did something.
Right.
That's why I never watched that movie. I say, wait a minute, did I miss something? Did he win a title? I don't remember. But all this shit, and that's what happens when
they did all that, and they make you think that, oh man, so this must have worked. So you guys won a title that year? No.
Okay,
then why did I just pay $15 to see this movie?
Yeah, but here's the thing with the shift, like I was saying earlier. Okay, see, and I say the truth, I don't mind the shift too much, because guess what? In football, they put special defenses at certain players, right?
Right.
So hey,
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Very rarely.
But guess what? Adjust. That's what you do. Adjust. You mean a batter can adjust? When I see a big gaping hole down the third base line, if I'm a right-handed hitter, let me lay down a bunt. Why they don't do that? Because it don't look
and cool. They never do it.
Because it doesn't look cool. Oh, I laid a bunt.
They just hit right into the shift. Ground ball, perfectly positioned.
Yeah. You know whose career got ruined because of that? Mark Teixeira. His career got ruined because of the shift.
Because the dude could not hit to the opposite field. He refused to learn how to hit to the opposite field.
That's the problem. Most of these players can't hit opposite field. That's the problem, bro. Remember, like doubles and triples? That used to be exciting. Oh, he's running for second. He's going for third. That's all what for 30.
Jeter was a master of hitting opposite field. Piazza was very good at power to the opposite field.
Prime was great.
Yeah, people like that are very good at hitting to the opposite field, just going with the pitch.
Yeah.
George Brett was good at it.
Oh, George Brett was a monster. Big time,
yeah, he can go. He can go either way, like opposite field. But then they have these dead pull hitters like Juan Gonzalez. After you start learning the pitch to him, that was it. He was a dangerous hitter for people who didn't really know how to pitch to him. But he was another dead pull hitter.
Okay.
And they just started putting the shift on him. And it wiped out maybe like the last 6 really good years of his career. He just like faded away when he was still kind of in his prime. So a couple of injuries here and there, but they started to learn how to pitch to him. And it kind of like ruined like the last 4 or 5 years. And then on top of that, the steroid rumors came for him.
Yeah, and again.
Them Texas Rangers love steroids. That's like 5 Texas Rangers. Was Soriano on the list too? Didn't they have something about him? Yeah, I believe they did.
Yeah,
I believe they did. He was a Ranger. A-Rod, Canseco, Palmiro.
Yeah, but
Sammy Sosa, like
again, like I told you, brother. It only became holier than thou when Congress got involved and Jose Canseco basically let all the cats out the bag. Because before that,
he told them
money over fame.
That's one thing about Canseco that you can never say. Can't really call him a liar because He called it.
Yeah,
he said 80% of the players, and everybody laughed at him and said he's a liar. But when you look at it, it was probably about 80%.
Yeah, it was. And that's the thing. Unless he was talking about himself, he told the truth about everything else.
Right. Yeah, he lies about himself though.
But that's the thing, you know. Brooks is in the Hall of Fame, but meanwhile, he allowed the steroids to happen, and then in return, he only got on it once the smoke came to him, and then he holied it out. Come on, man, that's what the hypocrites. But I don't want to hear it. You got people in the Hall of Fame that were racist, that were terrible people, and they actually like, well, you know, he also might have taken steroids, so I heard he had pimples on his back. So
back acne.
One less year. He should have been in his first year. They gave him a year later to get. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. They shoot themselves in the foot.
They ruined my man's reputation by saying he had back acne. Never failed a test. Was never even mentioned.
That's the thing. That's
he was just guilty by association.
Yeah, just because. You know, I heard he had back acne.
And Piazza was never built. He was never muscular.
He was
he was always like built like a pear type, like not really a lot of muscular division.
Right.
He wasn't like Bagwell, Kim Caminetti. You like,
yeah. Oh yeah, dudes, Bonds, you know.
Yeah, them dudes just came out of nowhere and was just like
looking like
even Bonds started getting a little chubby. Bagwell was all muscle, like his. And Caminetti, I'm like, how did this dude get so big so quick?
Caminetti, that's the name for the bats. Yeah.
But I think he got caught. I think he got caught with steroids too.
Yeah, and he died.
Caminetti.
And he died.
Did he die?
Yep. Caminetti died a few years back. So yeah. So I mean, it's just it's I don't know, because you know it's only with baseball when it comes to that. Because let's not act like no one in football don't do steroids, especially linemen. Let's keep it real. But you know why? You know why they don't say it? Oh, because it's football. It's about, it's about war on the field. Baseball is custom. Baseball is pure. That's why it was steroids. Oh, steroids.
Right.
How dare you blemish the sport? That's why. But they look at football. Oh, this one's our steroids. So, it's funny how it's looked at differently, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why is not that same energy for NFL or even the ATA for NBA, if there's anybody in NBA doing that? I'm just saying. Only with baseball.
Keep that same energy.
It's wrong. It's so morally wrong. Okay, whatever. But that's not here or there. But I want before you have any before I go on, do you have any stuff to talk about?
Yes. So what I want to talk about is it's kind of like, again, sports and stuff. And that is the can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you froze. Your picture froze.
Okay. That is like the what I do want to.
Uh-oh. Did you lose him?
You got it. You got it. Come on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so
now I don't.
Can't hear you now.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties. IE Network, please stand by.
Yeah.
But I was wondering what the stuff was because last week we weren't able to do any stuff, and I want to make sure we have some stuff going in. But by the way, as we wait for the stuff, great show last night, Wes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta watch the rest of it, but I'm trying to understand real quickly before Heaven comes back on. If I remember correctly with Ralph, I used to remember a time when Ralph used to say every week, even during the pandemic, I'm going to watch this movie this week. I'm watching this. I'm watching that. and then out of nowhere, I can't watch the Justice League,
And I'm back.
But anyway, hold that thought. All right, Heaven, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about two things that two ex NBA players. One is Paul Pierce. So as we know, Paul Pierce was on Instagram Live and streaming what he was doing. And in his background, there were strippers. And they were just doing what strippers do. And Paul decided to go on IG Live. Now, he is hired by Disney. Disney does own ESPN.
Yeah, obviously.
Paul looks to be a little two sips to the wind or whatever the heck they call it. And he had women in the back. Now he's a host of the NBA show with Jalen Rose and
Rachel Nichols.
No, not Rachel Nichols anymore. It's they replaced her with the black girl.
Okay. Yeah.
I forgot her name, but
yeah, I've seen her too. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but she's really good, and so Paul got on Instagram, and then next thing you know, ESPN fires him, right? So then there's people that are totally just missing the point. There's people that are saying, "Oh, he got fired by Disney. They're the worst. Oh, they're the worst in pedophilia." And it's that, but that hasn't been proven. That's only speculation. Yeah, true. We may think that. And we may even know that. But that has never really been brought to the light. All right? True. That's only speculation, and only people behind the scenes know that. Right. So you can't say, "Oh, how are they going to fire him? They're the worst. They're worse than him." We get it. Paul Pierce, you can't do that. You cannot be on Instagram Live with strippers in the back. And it was a double-edged effect, because now his wife saw it, and now she changed her Instagram to single AF. So,
you gotta be kidding.
So he's married, dude. His wife saw it, and now her profile says single. So now you done lost your job and probably lost your wife too.
Well, here's the truth.
And that's the truth. And then we have Darius Morris, who was some bench player. He had now the initial reports was incorrect. He's no longer on the Lakers. When I first saw him, I'm like, if this dude's on my team, he must be really on the bench, because I've never seen him before. But he used to be on the Lakers a couple of years ago, and he got caught on Instagram.
What now?
Beating the living daylights out of his girlfriend.
What?
And she is
beating her mercilessly.
And she is screaming for her life.
Oh.
And he's beating her, talking about text messages and your phone and this, that, and the other. I mean, obviously, he must have thought she was cheating on him or what have you. Maybe not. Now that he no longer has the bag, she went elsewhere. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. This dude is mercilessly beating this woman, and you can tell. This dude needs to be picked up right away.
Absolutely.
Don't wait on nothing. This dude needs to be picked up. If people like Ray Rice, and you see all of these elevator things happening. Ray Rice lost his career.
Yep.
He lost his career. And he's like the only one that really lost their career.
Yeah. They used him as an example. Yep.
Right. And everyone else that got disciplined for it, they all went back into the NFL.
Yep, correct.
Well, the white player that got a chance to retire, I don't even think he even got in trouble. He just retired. The one he was using racial slurs, I think he beat his black girlfriend. The other dude, he's on the 49ers, and I think he just retired. I don't think nothing happened to him.
Ridiculous.
Kareem Hunt, he got suspended. He got a chance to come back. Antonio Brown was in domestic violence stuff. He got a chance to come back.
Yeah,
everybody got a chance to come back but Ray Rice.
Yep.
So his career pretty much got ruined. And I don't know how much up until that time. I don't know whether Ray Rice had even gotten his big payday yet. If he did, I don't know how much that money you got because football money is not guaranteed.
Yeah, most part.
So, so anyway, I think that this dude needs to be picked up, and Paul Pierce, come on, man. Like, what he did wasn't illegal.
The investigation.
But you gotta know better than that. You gotta know better than that. So those are really the two things that I want to discuss. I don't know if you two want to chime in on either or. I'm a little disappointed in Paul because, Paul Pierce is a Hall of Fame NBA player. He's pretty much stayed with he ended up going to, the Nets, the Wizards, and the Clippers when it really didn't matter. But I think of him as a Boston Celtic. He spent most of his career as a Celtic. So I think of him as a true Boston Celtic. And I'm just a little disappointed, that he would get himself caught up in madness like that. I know everyone likes to have fun, but, you got to know, you have a job, you work for Disney. They're not going to want to see that, on Instagram. So I'm a little disappointed in Paul, but this other dude, he needs to be arrested, period.
Immediately.
He needs to be arrested immediately and thrown in jail. I treat him the same way I treat, the dude who beat up the porn star, Raw Machine or Mad Machine or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that was disgusting.
Man, War Machine.
I treat War Machine. I would treat him the same way they treat War Machine. Put him right in jail, leave him in jail until his trial. Don't let him get out on bond. Don't let him get out on bail, and leave him in there until his trial.
Yeah, that was just really bone chilling the way you hear her screaming. It sound like a horror film. Like you listen to her screaming at the top of her lungs, and he's yelling at you. You could tell he's beating her, and then you see her face. Her face is just mangled. It's messed up real bad. Black and blue all over, puffed eyes. She looks bad. She looked like she fought, got into like a professional fight with somebody.
Yeah. With a professional fighter.
And it's just it's sad, when these guys do this stuff. It's just these dudes are just ridiculous, man. When they do this stuff. They need
let
help.
it go.
They
Find somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Let these women cheat in peace. I mean, like, give me a break. Go find somebody else. You're an NBA basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, cheating or not. Don't. Yeah, these people.
Absolutely.
I don't care if she's cheating or not. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, let her cheat in peace. Don't just go somewhere else.
Right.
I think I heard something from a distance. I think I hear Cueva go, whoo.
Yeah, exactly. 2-0 Mexis, by the way, in the seventh inning.
Ooh, look at you knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
2-1.
Well, Cuevo just didn't get caught. He didn't get caught on camera, so hopefully he didn't ever. But he almost got suckered into hitting her.
Mm-hmm.
He almost got suckered into hitting her because she swung on him and then tried to, like I said, we don't know if they've ever gotten into any fight before. I'm not speaking on that at all because I don't know. But he didn't get caught. Like that wasn't a Ray Rice situation where you see him dragging her in to the thing, after he done knocked her out or dragging her out. No,
it's terrible.
And it was, it was just, she that whole thing. Them, that's a whole different thing. But this guy here, who, how can you beat a woman mercilessly as she's screaming at the top, screaming bloody murder, screaming and pleading for life, and he's beating her, and the end result, you see the end result, you're like, oh my God,
it's a sick dude. First of all, like Heaven has stated, and I follow that same formula too. Unless the woman's coming at you with a knife, hammer, or a machine gun or something, you're not supposed to hit them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm agree with that. I just want to put back a little on even the Quavo situation. I had a lot of people, and Jimmy H been in my live, he knows. I've had a lot of people totally disagreeing with me on the Quavo situation.
Yeah,
oh, you don't know. You don't know unless you're in that situation. Well, I was in that situation before. And I keep telling people, I don't care unless this woman is Ronda Rousey and you're like Gary Coleman. This woman is not going to be able to hurt you with her hands. The average female, the smallest man is just as strong as a stronger, we'll say a stronger female. That's like Megan Thee Stallion, right? Megan Thee Stallion is a big girl.
Yeah.
5'10", 6 feet, whatever. Queen Latifah is a big girl, right?
Yep.
I would knock Queen Latifah out cold. Cold. So, and Quavo, they're saying, oh, she swung on him first. Did you see that swing? She came nowhere near him. Did you see the size of Saweetie?
Yeah, she's
right. Now, if Saweetie had a knife, a gun, a hammer, a something, then I get it. It's like, oh, he was protecting himself because she swung on him.
Exactly.
What is she really gonna do to him? That's like a kid, right? So, and I use
just like Jay-Z. Jay-Z did not swing on
Beyonce's
sister on Solange. She was kicking him. She kicking him, doing all types of stuff. He did not raise his hand to swing on him.
Because if he would have knocked her out.
He would have knocked her clear across the elevator.
He would knocked out. So my point is, I got into that situation before, where my baby's mother was tearing. I had $100 sweater on top of that. Was ripping my sweater all in the street, trying to give me a hitter. I was just like, have my hands up. I'm calling the police. All he had to do was call the police. It's about, oh, she tried to take his bag. You're Quavo from the Migos. You can't get another one?
Exactly.
You can't say, you know what?
It was a Call of Duty. It was a Call of Duty.
I mean, really?
A Call of Duty suitcase. So what? That's a video game. Yeah. You can buy another video game.
Straight, man.
So you could go down. I probably would have hurt her more than you fighting for it. You were just trying to show off your ego, like, oh, I'm not going to let her take my game, this, that, and the other. My thing is, females, again, if a kid walks up to you with a water gun, right? If a kid pulls a water gun on you, are you going to smack the kid and say, oh, I was just defending myself? What is that water gun really going to do? But if a kid walks up with you with a real gun, then you have a right to that's defending yourself. He wasn't defending himself. He was trying to get the bag. He was trying to get that bag she was going for. He was not defending himself. He was in no sorts of danger whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's no sorts of danger. He did these like Paul Pierce and this guy want to broadcast it to the world on Instagram. Like, what are you doing?
Paul Pierce. Now the dude that was beating her up, I don't know if he knew that the live was on.
No, he didn't. I don't think he knew that.
Paul
but he
Pierce
still
was filming it himself.
Yeah, he's dumb.
And I really don't think Paul realized what it was until really quickly some other stuff. Yeah, what's your whole take on Kevin Durant and Michael Rappaport? On the Kevin Durant, Michael Rappaport situation, where Michael Rappaport seemingly is getting dragged. Nobody seems to be on his side. And you know what? I'm not so sure that I'm not on his side. Because I understand you shouldn't show with DM what happened in the DM stayed in the DM. But Michael Rappaport made a very good point. He said, yeah, that's a code if we're friends. He's like, Kevin Durant is not my friend. He's not my man. Like, we're not friends. So he said, so there is no sort of bro code if you're not my friend. And I kind of agree with him on that. I kind of agree with him with, if you're not my friend, how is there a code? There is no code. And he said, when you
And obviously, it's no code when you start talking, bringing in people's wives and stuff.
He said, when you mentioned my wife, and he said, does that sound like a friend? When I see you, I'm gonna spit in your face. I can't wait to spit in your face when I see you.
No friend would say that to each other.
Right? He said that's not banter. That's not trash talk. He said those are threats.
Yeah, those are
threats. And then he said, then he goes on again. He said, I didn't respond. He said, because I really couldn't believe what I was reading. He said, and then I go on later on, and he comes back for more. I can't wait to see you, you dirty, you know what? I can't wait to spit in your face when I see you. So Michael Rappaport said, because I bring that out, now all of a sudden it turns into a race thing. I didn't mean for it to turn into a race issue. It turned into a anti-Semitic issue. None of this. He said, he was the one, they're saying that, because, you can't take it, so now you're going to make it public. I understand on both sides. Yeah, and he said, you know what, if I had a chance to do it again, would I make it public? Probably not. He said, but I let my emotions get the best of me. Shannon Sharp said, and I kind of agree with him, saying, Mike, at that point, you have to cut off all communication. You have to tell him, all right, this is going too far. It's going somewhere else where it's not. I'll unfollow you, block you, whatever the case may be. He said, and that's the end of it. He said, but you didn't do that. You let your emotions get the best of you. So I do agree on that aspect, but I just wanted to say I'm not totally against Michael Rappaport's point. I mean, I may lean a little towards Durant. You know what? You shouldn't have exposed the DMs, but Kevin Durant also shouldn't have said that. So I don't think people should just keep that as, well, he can dish it, but he can't take it. He dishes it, but he's never talked about anybody's wife.
No,
so you can't say, he dishes it but can't take it. No, because he's never talked about anybody's wife.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant's always been thin-skinned, and he's still hiding. Right. He hasn't played.
Right.
And you know what? And here's my theory of that, which goes back to what you were talking about last week when you're talking about how great is LeBron James. I think personally, this is just a thought, my opinion, my theory. So I don't want anybody to come at me. Oh, you said about this. No, having goes through this every day. I don't know how he deals with it. Anyway, my theory is, you know why Kevin Durant's sitting out? He needs every energy he needs if he faces LeBron in the finals to be 100%.
Right.
And that's also because of his Achilles. On top of that, but I think it's mostly, you know what? I got my super team. I got my peoples playing for me.
Right. LeBron is hurt, so while he's hurt, I'm gonna sit out.
I'm gonna chill. Heck, it's only what, month and a half, whenever the playoffs start. You know what? I'm gonna wait till it's about a few games left of the season. Then I'll come in like a horse in shining armor, white horse in shining armor, and then there's Kevin Durant, and then that way I'll be fully rested and I could beat LeBron.
Right. With the team especially with the team I've assembled.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you talk about a mercenary team. Jeez.
Right. Now, interestingly as it is, James Harden's hurt now.
Now, I know.
James Harden pulls his hamstring again.
So
they don't know when he's coming back.
They'll just pull one of their other all-stars out of reserve.
Right. Kyrie's still out there. The other night,
that's just like saying Iron Man and so is hurt on the Avengers, but they still got Thor, they still got Black Panther, they still got all this other
right.
Iron Man and Captain America.
That should be the next new nickname.
That should be their new name. Iron Man and Captain America is hurt, but they still got Thor, they still got the Hulk. They still got, still got Black Widow, still got Black Panther.
They're still going to be the favorites against almost anybody.
Yeah.
See, my point being, But my point being is the Lakers really only got those two guys, you know, AD and LeBron and friends, you know. But
and friends, right?
The Nets have it's like an all-star fantasy team or something.
Right.
And you know, they're like, okay, and to me, like it's not like I know this for a fact, but I'm pretty good. I'm pretty persistent and people's behavior. And Kevin Durant to me is one of the biggest douches in the NBA, probably the biggest. I never cared for Durant. He's always been like, oh, this bothers me, that bothers me, you know.
Right.
Even LeBron did him and that. But and that's why I think he's like, well, you know what? I don't want to, you know, I want to make sure I'm 100%. And if anyone says anything, oh, because my Achilles, you know, I have to make sure I'm fully rested. You know, the Achilles injury is a hard injury to come back, which is true. But I'm just saying, you've been out how long?
That's what Stephen A. said. Stephen A. That was the main point. Kevin Durant. When is the last time you played basketball?
You know, it's like MIA. Where are you? You know, all point bulletin for Kevin Durant.
You've now been out. He's played. What's he played? 18 games this year, and he was out 2 years prior to that.
Yeah, he didn't play last year at all.
No,
you know,
or the year before that. So you shot out all last year. So you had a full year to recover.
Every play now and then when you want to.
Right. Got a full year to recover.
Pipe down. He need to pipe down.
Yeah. So, you know, we're gonna see what happens with them. They better win a championship this year. I don't want to hear nothing. With no excuses. They got everybody over there.
Exactly.
But we'll see as far as that goes. That's all I really wanted to talk on as far as the dude, Darius Mars. Speaking of douchebags, please arrest this dude. Whoever needs to arrest him, arrest that dude. And Paul Pierce, just do better. You know, you're a veteran. You're a Hall of Famer. You should know better. You know, you should know better. I'm totally disappointed that Paul was on TV. He was getting a lot of light for his takes, and he was starting to get notice as having these crazy takes. And then he pulls this. He's totally intoxicated. You can totally see intoxicated on screen. You want to do that at home, fine, or if you're out doing it, whatever the case may be. Plus, you're out. I don't know if he had a mask on. I ain't really see a mask. So you're out there with females in a strip club, knowing you got to go back to ESPN. So,
idiot. What a dummy.
Yeah. Big dummy. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Evan. Thank you for getting in. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna do your live tonight?
I don't know. I was thinking about. I got a lot going on, but I was thinking about doing it. I don't know though. I might just wait till tomorrow and start fresh. And I did put up a couple of videos.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Right out here now.
At least keep the names out there, whatever. Keep the IE network pushing along, and I'll be back doing a live tomorrow or something.
That's cool. That's cool. At least you put up other videos right here in the IE network. That's fine.
There you go.
There you go. Well, thanks a lot, my brother.
We also got to get your short takes videos going, like touching on these sports and stuff, kind of like a wrap up or touching on points that you didn't get a chance to make during the show. I think that'd be a cool little segment.
I'm definitely gonna finally get control of this live here.
Cool. All right, brother.
Bro. I'll check you later, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, later, bro. And there he goes, Heaven Hollywood into the night. And thank you all for listening and watching the Benchwarmers podcast exclusively here on the IE network. And I also, like I was just saying real briefly, want to also thank Wes Clark, aka the director, who is the producer of the Benchwarmers podcast, for coming on. Really appreciate his input and his time, as well as Heaven's. And I want to thank you all for watching and listening in the chat rooms. Everybody, thank you for participating in there. And please, like I said earlier, like, comment, subscribe right here on the Benchwarmers podcast. And also, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this. Not only share this show, but also share Real Talk, which Wes is like coming in like, make sure you say the time right and the day right, okay?
No, not that. You know what? I wanted to give a shout out to New York Giants girl. She sent a super chat in to you. So big up and thank you for that. We appreciate anyone who supports the channel and supports the show. So New York Giants girl sent a super chat over to you. So yeah, that's what's up.
Oh yeah. Find a way to come to me.
Yeah, we'll get that over to you. But yeah, no, we appreciate anyone who supports the channel, supports the network. You know, we everything keeping these things going. It's all out of pocket, so it's always appreciated. And whatever it is, it's always appreciated. If you send a super chat, you send a cash app, whatever. We appreciate you. We really do. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Wes, for bringing that up. You know, there we go. See, that's why he's my producer. He tells me everything. There you go. Yeah, one day I do have a cash app. I have to look it up. I forgot what it is. Let me see real quick. Cash app. All right, where is cash app? My case, and from here on out, I'll say it. My cash app is, you know, the $ Jimmy Ace Cash. So you know, like Johnny Cash. So that's basically it. So you know, the $ Jimmy Ace Jimmy Ace Cash is my cash app, and I'll make sure to try to promote it more often. So thank you, NYG girl, for doing that. I really do appreciate it. I don't see that on my end where I'm broadcasting, so that's why Wes had to point that out to me. If he didn't say anything, I would have had no idea that happened. So thank you, NYG girl. Thank you all who donate to the channel, donate to me or to Wes or even to Heaven. Everybody on this network, you know, you want to donate, yeah, anytime, please feel free. I mean, I don't know Wes and Heavens by heart, but I would promote it if I would. But mine's on Cash App is the $ Jimmy Ace Cash is my Cash App. So with that being said, thank you all for listening and watching and donating. That is very wonderful. Without you and your support out there, we are nothing. And tune in next week for next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another exciting edition of the Benchwarmers podcast with me and my co-host Heaven Hollywood, and of course my producer Wes Clark, who chimes in every now and then. And also tune into these other shows that we have on here live, like we did last night and every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Real Talk with Wes Clark and the Jedi Council, you know, Ralph and Kev, and also I forgot Homeboy that comes in every now and then. That's in the filming business. I forgot Homeboy's name, but yeah, he's good also. And also, like I said, Heaven's gonna upload some videos about what's been going on in the entertainment world, and he also does the Heaven Hollywood Experience on here. He does lives on here every so often, and also we got Lex for Block TV doing her thing every week, giving you the update of the business, tea, and news in the entertainment world. Shout out to Lex out there. You're doing your thing, and you do an excellent job on here. And we're out here always supporting you because we're family here on the IA Network. And with that being said, speaking of family, thank you all for listening and participating and watching. And we'll see you next week right here for the Benchwarmers podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively here on the IA Network on YouTube. So for Wes and for Heaven, I am James Acevedo, your host, saying as I go into the IE Network horizon, as I always do, as we bid adieu, and I say have a safe week, great weekend, and I also say this, latest and tomatoes, peace.